So thank you for all your sharing earlier.
It is our pleasure and our excitement, as always.
Of course. Would you go into some of the specific differences between the Wanderers, the Cryptics, the Nocturnals, the Shapeshifters, the Sages, and then the Wraith? Why not?
Because you will need to wait for the book.
Well, I can explore on my own, too.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
However, the Cryptics basically start to learn about the idea of parallel realities, learn how to open up also to the idea of different levels of consciousness within your general reality, communicating with nature in a variety of ways, seeing things that were heretofore invisible, learning how parallel realities are laid out. It's an education in that sense. Mm-hmm. The idea of the Nocturnals is they start to see more deeply into those parallel realities. They start to really understand and experience more about the parallel lives they may have made connections to, more viscerally, drawing more consciously, drawing upon those experiences in a way that they can apply in their lives to bring about certain kinds of changes. They become more lucid in their dreams, more lucid in the physical reality, but they use the idea of the power of the night. They use the idea of the mystery, of investigating their true deep mysteries in that way. The shapeshifters start to understand not only how to perceive those alternate realities, but also how to actually shift themselves into representations of those alternate realities to really bring that into this reality and allow others to perceive those shifting shapes like a hologram, because they're getting people to understand how to match their frequency to see them from different points of view in all the different connections that they have in those parallel realities. The sage can also then bring that idea full circle to actually allow other people to experience changes in the reality as a whole. In other words, not just their body shifting to representations of other beings and other realities, but shifting the reality itself all around them like a holographic representation into those other realities. Typically what you would call wizardry or magic. Mm-hmm. The Wraith is now utilizing the idea of being the borderline between physical and non-physical reality and calling upon certain manifestations of the spirit realm in order to make them manifest in what you would consider to be physical reality.
Okay, they're a bridge between dimensions.
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't really have to wait for the book after all,
I guess not. Thank you. I love hearing about that and feeling it.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so...
Yes.
One of the most exciting things to me on Earth is the moon.
Yes.
And the ocean.
Yes.
And putting them together magnifies such a powerful presence and frequency on Earth.
Yes, it creates your tides.
And more.
And more.
So I notice, at least for me, each full moon I feel called to be on a specific place on Earth. And
so where will you be Monday, the day of the moon, and what your people have been calling the blood moon, which is really just a lunar eclipse?
I'll probably be at the ocean.
Oh, all right. Mm-hmm. Then do understand that on that day of the moon, in that cycle, the vibrations are conducive, the frequencies are conducive, like a nocturnal, for exploring much, much, much more deeply into the mysteries of your own being and coming to more conscious realizations of more of the connections that you have to other beings, other incarnations, other realms, other dimensions, other levels of your own consciousness, if you are willing to go into the appropriate state to allow that to begin to occur.
I was thinking it would be a good time, but I wasn't sure of all the specifics, so I'm glad you expanded on that. Thank you.
Right.
Is there anything else you could share with us?
Well, remember that, of course, as we have set it up, your moon is now also a resonating lens for the frequency of our reality based on the energy being sent to your moon from our 3 artificial moons of Epsilon and Eclipse and Epiphany.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
So you can focus on that vibration as well if you wish.
I do. A lot of times during the full moon, I think of them and I call them in.
Yes.
One thing last week when I was at the ocean watching the moon starting to set over the ocean, it created a light across the ocean like a bridge.
Yes.
And you could just follow that bridge to the moon. It was like it would connect to the moons of many other systems besides just perhaps your own.
It does.
Yeah.
Vibrationally speaking, yes.
Right. So last night before I left, I was looking at the moon and this phrase came to me, the ship is my moon, or my ship is the moon in which I dance and tune.
All right.
And last night I had dreams. I was watching the stars and they became ships and they were dancing for me.
Oh, all
and
right.
then I realized I was seeing it as a dream, and then I realized I was seeing it as physical reality and feeling both sensations as if it was a dream and physical reality.
So you became somewhat lucid.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I just wanted to share that. So then the last thing I wanted to speak of was when Darryl was reading the book,
Yes.
and he was speaking about Willa's home.
Yes.
It felt so at home and so comfortable.
Yes. Well, you have connections to the hybrids around that time frame too.
Yes. And when he spoke of Holly Cotton and even Willa's grandmother, everything just felt so comfortable. Is there a way that we can more, like at least for me, bring that more into this reality?
As was described to you, the reason that this is being given to you in the form of a story is so that you can allow your imagination to ride into it more deeply, to live it more viscerally, to go through it as a process. As you actually listen to the story, the more you let it in, the more you imagine what it is that's being described to you as if it is real for you. Then going through that story with her, with Willa, on her journey, will allow you to tap into what you need to in a variety of ways at different points in the story. This is why the story is a compendium and a compilation of many different things that are not necessarily actually literal in Willa's life, but need to be in the story to act as a long process of taking you through it in a way that allows you to touch into different things at different places that will awaken different memories within you. Mm-hmm. That's why it's being delivered in story structure.
Well, it's very delicious.
Yes, it is.
One thing I wanted to ask, is Holly Cotton kind of like a fox too, or is she completely different?
She's very different.
Can you share?
Well, you had some description of her.
That's. I'll have to go back and listen. I'm probably zoned somewhere.
Yes. Well, she has long silver white hair.
Okay.
She has ice blue eyes.
Right, I heard the ice blue eyes.
And she is a mix of something else unusual that is a little bit different than the mix that Willa is. But Willa has certain connections that are far beyond what many of the cryptics actually have. And that will come out in the story.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And, the hybrid or the elven race in Lord of the Rings?
We understand the analogy.
What hybrid race are they? Like, I feel like they relate or they look like a hybrid race. Do they?
In a sense, yes, but this is a different story.
Okay.
We will have to get into that another time.
Okay.
All right.
I have one more. So, I would like to travel more, and I know I spoke to you about this.
Yes, well,
and I've been studying.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no, really?
I know. Well, when are you going to?
I have been, but I want to do it more.
Obviously, or you wouldn't be asking. So when are you going to do it more?
Maybe in November. Because I already have some trips.
All right, well, that's
October.
up to you, isn't it?
Yes.
All right.
I was just wondering if you could assist me with maybe getting to a couple different places, like Machu
What, do you want
Picchu
to ride in my ship or something?
That'd be nice.
What about your ship of the moon?
Yes, I do go there.
Well, it can actually transport you places.
Okay.
Doesn't mean
Then
you necessarily have
flash.
to instantly disappear.
Okay. I just got a flash.
Yes, all right.
Okay, I know what I need to do.
All right. Remember the tides and the currents. Let the tides and the currents carry you where you need to go. Okay. Just flow with them. When you stand in the light of the moon, you can amplify and magnify the currents of your life that will carry you where you need to go.
Okay.
Yes?
Awesomeness.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Hi, too.
Hi, too.
It's great to be here, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
For my first question, I was curious if you could expand upon our understanding of turbulence in the sense of physics and fluid dynamics.
Expand on your understanding of turbulence.
Or lack thereof.
What is it you think you need to know about turbulence? Is there some specific application that the information will help you with that would allow us to narrow down the information for you? Because there is turbulence in many different scenarios and situations.
So more specifically, how turbulence is created in fluids and kind of a general understanding of why that happens and how it happens.
Why it happens, how it happens. All right. Being free-flowing as air or liquid or any other free-flowing material in that way, turbulence is going to be representative of a few different things. Number one, of course, it's going to be representative of what you would call the jostling of all the molecules as they work on each other, as they act on each other, representative of the different underlying structures that are represented by the different subatomic particles, the different energies within them, creating a combined effect that you call turbulence. This kind of discordant behavior is what is representative of the threshold, the crossing of the threshold between quantum coherence and decoherence. Turbulence is the decoherence of quantum effects to create what you call your macroscopic reality. Does this make sense to you?
Makes sense.
But it's following certain patterns, underlying schema, underlying templates that we have discussed, called things like phi ratios and Fibonacci sequences and so on and so forth. Fractals, in that sense. You follow?
Yes.
So turbulence is representative of quantum decoherence following underlying fractal templates that create your macroscopic physical experience. That would be a concise definition.
Great.
Does that help?
That helps a lot.
All right.
And then I was also curious, what dimension do you exist in?
We are moving into the idea of the fifth dimension because we are shifting from fourth density to fifth density. But in terms of the dimension of our alternate reality, is that what you're talking about?
No.
Or are you actually talking about our evolutionary process of frequency?
Yes.
Because remember, we're in an alternate dimension that operates 10 times faster than yours. But that's just a parallel reality. The idea of our evolution is taking us into fifth density, which is non-physical. That's why now, on the borderline between the two, we are what we call quasi-physical beings and exhibit qualities of both physical and non-physical beings in our reality.
And in your reality, do you also have connections as this one where you channel with your future selves in higher dimensions as well?
Yes.
Interesting. And what's your primary purpose for interacting with us? Or primary intention?
To expand our understanding of creation through all of its facets. And of course, we are family.
Beautiful.
Does this help?
Helps a lot. Can I meet you?
Perhaps someday.
Could we set a time?
Perhaps someday.
Can we set one now?
Perhaps someday.
Okay. And then you also mentioned a very interesting concept about how, as energies are accelerating during this period of time, we have a much narrower, so you could say, path to follow to keep going a certain direction without veering off. Well,
there's a paradox there. As you divest yourself of the things that are no longer relevant for you, in a sense, your path becomes narrower. It becomes like a razor's edge because there really is no other choice but that path. At the same time, when you do hone in on that singular path that is your preferred choice, that edge becomes wider and wider and wider and more stable for you. Because now there is nothing else to take up the room. You can fill the entire space with everything that's simply relevant for that path. So it actually becomes more stable even as you narrow it down. That's the paradox.
So is it possible for someone to to veer in a way that separates from something they could have been, but was representative of their highest excitement more so than the one they chose?
Are you asking, is it possible to stray from your true path? Well, of course you can choose to misalign. Yes. But that can be your decision. You can change that course. Again, remember, the hallway you decided to walk down as a destiny, as a theme of exploration, still gives you the free will to choose how you walk down that hallway. And it doesn't mean you have to always open every door. You can decide to do that, or you can decide to leave some of them closed. You can decide, perhaps, to just plunk yourself down in the middle of the hallway and not progress further. Yes, of course. You can decide the way in which you experience the destiny you set up for yourself, the theme that you chose to explore in any number of ways, one of which includes the idea of not really exploring it, per se, or exploring the idea of not exploring it, which is part of the hallway, part of the path. At least as an option, as a potential choice. But it's up to you to determine whether or not that creates a flow in your life or resistance in your life to do so. What you prefer to experience. Does that help?
Helps a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
I know you. Good day.
I'm very happy to be here, and
all right.
I started coming to see you live in June, and since then I haven't missed one yet.
Oh, all right.
So I love that, but I wanted to ask you, do I have me on a Sasani right now, or am I a Sasani?
You have some Sasani connections, one of which slightly overlaps my time frame, but most of which do not.
Oh, wonderful. So do you know that me slightly?
I do now.
Wonderful. Okay. My other question is, I was on Mount Shasta and I took a picture of an orb, and
Yes.
Normally I have a bunch of orbs in the picture, but this one was just one.
Yes.
And it was giant and it was above my head. Someone else was taking a picture, and I zoomed in on the orb later, and there's a spiral in the orb and
Yes.
there's blue behind it.
Yes.
Was that a specific entity?
You are actually capable of photographing the crown chakra.
Wonderful. And there was actually a small little tiny orb that was actually right next to my head.
Yes.
What was that? It was very small, looked almost like a metallic ball.
That was an observer watching you become cognizant of being able to perceive your crown chakra.
Wonderful. I knew I was supposed to be there. Okay. I've felt in my life at times that I have been pregnant, but then...
You are part of the hybridization agenda, yes.
So was I physically carrying something?
For a while, a couple of times, yes. And then it was removed and raised on the ships.
Will I ever meet them?
Yes, and you have.
I feel that way as well. Let's see.
But you will meet them more consciously, more physically in time.
Wonderful. And is there anything that you'd like to add to ask me, or I know you're going to ask me, you're following your highest excitement, and I would like to say, yes, I am following my highest excitement every minute of every day, waking the moment. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
What color are your shoes?
I'm not wearing any.
Ah, transparent shoes then.
Yes.
Transparent.
Thank you so much.
Yes?
Love you.
Love you too.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania!
I'm awake now.
Yes.
2 questions from our Ustream listeners.
Yes.
The first one is, what is the difference between the higher self and the higher mind?
Nothing.
Okay, so they're interchangeable terms.
Yes.
Okay. And the second question is pretty interesting. It says, how do the concepts of the prime radiant and the shards of the shattered mirror fit together? For example, each of us exists in our own universe, And you once said that we can only meet someone by creating a version of them
Yes.
in our reality.
Yes.
How does that fit with the idea of the shattered mirror?
It fits with the idea that there are shards of shards of shards of shards of shards, and that the shards reflect to other shards a facet that contains an image that is relevant to that shard. And if that shard wants to pick up that image, then it can recreate that particular image in its own facets. Did that make sense in your language?
I'm absorbing. You're saying that process of shards upon shards upon shards, that when two shards reflect to each other, they then create other versions of, or they create a version of each person within themselves, right?
If the facets line up, it is an indication in terms of the shards that there is some common vibration, some alignment in vibration that allows each shard to experience internally the result of that reflectivity coming through that facet. Thus, they create internally for themselves a reflection that goes back to the other shard that then allows for commonality, for consensus in their experience. The shards within shards within shards is one way of, let's just say, poetically describing the idea of the prime radiant crossing itself over and over and over again to different densities.
Okay, so every time the prime radiant crosses itself, it creates a shard, or it reflects a shard.
You can look at it that way. It's a simplification, but it'll do for now.
All right, and then the densification occurs as the prime radiant crosses itself.
Yes.
And then eventually that would be represented by physical objects and things like that, and in the universe.
Yes.
Okay, and that was really interesting what you said tonight about the Big Bang is actually just
a big shatter.
It's the moment of self-reflection, which is the shattered mirror.
Yes. Because the whole mirror suddenly shatters and is able to see millions and an infinite number of different reflections of itself from different angles and points of view. But it's still the same one mirror. The mirror doesn't grow. It just shatters so it can create all these different reflections back to itself.
And then Indra's net would be
another way of expressing the idea of the holographic reflections, because every pearl in the net contains the information of all the other pearls in its reflective surface. So you only have to go to one pearl to learn the information of all the pearls in the net. Does that help?
Yes. And as far as the dolphins and the way that their psyche is related to our psyche on the quantum level, I think you were touching on that.
There is quantum resonance in your brains that has similar frequencies by which you can communicate telepathically, yes.
And that's why we can, but communicating telepathically is just thinking the same thoughts at the same time.
When you're on the same wavelength, yes. And so the quantum resonators in your brains can actually be easily matched, thus allowing you to have the same thoughts at the same time and learn to communicate.
So the main thing when you're wanting to communicate with dolphins is to be in that state of love, being in love with them.
Yes.
And just leave yourself open and relaxed and willing to hear.
Yes.
And I always feel like whatever you hear is what you need to hear, because
of course
it's putting you at such a high frequency. It's really allowing your higher self to talk to you.
You will always get the reflection from the shard you need to see. No other facet will face you.
Okay, so then all the mermaids and the mermen like to be in the water with the dolphins and get their reflections that way.
Yes. Oh, well said.
Okay, well, it looks like it's that time, you know.
All right. So you may enjoy a short break. We will then resume this transmission to allow for a holotope meditation that will help crystallize the shards within your consciousness in the way that will work best for you.
I've got dumped after a 26 years relationship. And as soon as she left me, she pretty much disappeared from my life, like I've never existed. And she moved on really quickly with someone else after 1 month. And all of this make me feel like I'm pretty much useless to her. And My question is, why do I still, 6 months later, allow her to make me feel like that? Because I know I'm not, and my son demonstrated to me every day, my friends do the same, so I know I'm not, but I just don't understand why I still allow her to make me feel like that. This is my question. Thank you.
She doesn't make you feel like that, you make yourself feel like that. So her actions are pointing out to you that you're the one diminishing yourself. You're the one believing in your lack of worth. So she's giving you an opportunity to overcome that challenge, to know that you are worthy because you are getting signs that you are. It's giving you the opportunity to choose which ones you really want to pay attention to, which ones you want to believe are true. So you are still in doubt about your worth, which is why you keep wondering why you keep reacting the way that you're reacting and why you feel the way you feel about the fact that she is giving you this opportunity. So this is an agreement you have made to overcome your lack of self-worth and know that you deserve to know that you are worthy as the signs are being given to you by others in your life. Choose the path you really prefer and let go of the path that you don't.